Um, so let's have a quick look. Change metrics. So active users replaces total users. Total users was basically just hits, I think, derived from the same sessions. Active users is a much more involved metric, which includes users that are engaged on the site. And an engagement is 10 seconds on site, 2 page views, or 1 conversion event. Page view definition has changed. Web pages viewed and num screens viewed now make up page view. Unique page views have gone. Sessions have shifted to start and end events, so they're no longer really that important, other than as markers for the start and end of different periods of use by different devices by the same person. Conversions replaces universal analytics goals, and any event can be set up as a conversion. And the metric that I used to love was bounce rate. That has now been not replaced as such, but its counterpart, its inverted counterpart, is a metric called engagement. And engagement is active users with engagement. For example, again, 10 seconds on site, 2 page views, or 1 conversion event during site use. So this was basically where my assumptions about Google Analytics really kind of let me down. I had just kicked off I just met the deadlines for the 2023 migration by the skin of my teeth, got my clients onto Google Analytics 4 and looked at the data flowing and everything seemed to be fine. And I looked at the reports and they kind of sort of looked similar to what the reports we were using before. And at that point, I turned my back on the whole thing and thought, fine, that's it, done. About 4 months after that, I went back in and hardly any of the information was recognizable by me for me at all. And so I really lost confidence in the information that I was sending to clients, because some of the information was actually so far widely different from the information we used to have before that I couldn't really press it or push it to clients at all. So I stopped providing that information for them. They stopped asking for it. And generally speaking, now very few of my clients even look at their analytics unless they just want to see whether they got people going to the site at all or not. And the metrics was another thing. It was like I really thought that I'd just be able to pick up the data and pick up where I left off and understand it all. And that wasn't the case. So those realizations that my assumptions were pretty poor and that I'd kind of messed things up were the trigger for me to start to look into what I needed to do to bring it all back and get analytics back as a key feature and service that my company provides my clients. And that is pretty much where we are now. So how do we fix it? Well, I was really pleased to hear that only 50% of you are using Tag Manager. Tag Manager is another Google tool. It's been designed to allow for configuration of custom events on your site without actually having to change any of the markup or fiddle about with overrides or get involved in any template hacking or anything. In order for you to get the best out of it, you should look for a plugin that works with Joomla that allows you to enter the Google Tag Manager tracking code. I have one here. Okay, so Arconic is the one that I use. A very simple plugin. The reason why you should avoid using templates and that kind of thing to load your analytics content is that very often they will put the analytics code in the wrong place in the head, or even sometimes I've seen it put it in the wrong place in the body. If you use a plugin which has been designed to do this, it should put the first snippet of code in the head in the right place, which usually is the very first thing that should be loaded, but not always. And then the very first thing that gets loaded after the opening body tag. And they're very simple plugins. They just give you a place to put in the information and data for your tag container. If we jump to Tag Manager quickly, Google Tag Manager. This is the Google Tag Manager tool. And this is what I advise you to use to manage your Google Analytics 4 connection going forward. The reason why it's so good is it's set up to, it's quite simple. It looks a little bit overwhelming at first, but it's brilliant for analyzing the transactions and activity that go on your website. And it gives you an opportunity to, as I said, to start creating and defining your own custom events so that you can start monitoring your site the way you want to.